Isn't agility like when, like, I think agility affects when you take your turn? Quickness, reflexes, and poise? Initiative? Does agility boost initiative? It does affect that. Okay, thank you. Because I like Heinrich's, basically I buff the heck out of the party with him early in a fight, and so I would love to do that before people split up. Corrals. I guess toughness. More hit points didn't ever hurt anybody. Oh god, her skills are so insane because that one passive she's got. Like, the better you are at trading, the stronger she gets. I think she's my only commerce person. Do that. I feel like I really missed out when I didn't have her join my party in my first playthrough. Okay. Save game. Alright. What do we got here?
Sings in my veins.
Welcome, your lordness. Please come right in. Our chief will greet you. You nitwits, quit your gawking. Get to work.
My pleasure.
An initial survey of the vessel indicates that my exploratory brethren have already performed a requiem right here. Further examination is inadvisable.
What about the sagacious marauders rooting around in the guts of this dead colossus of the void? Talk to them. Wisdom can be found in unexpected places, Shireen.
The plate reads Lathanos Pride. The name Lathanos surfaces in your mind, the history of a family from the Coronis Expanse, who invested all they had in a family ship. Their ship perished in the warp on its maiden voyage. The Lathano line never recovered from the crushing blow.
What lies beyond?
Yoink.
Behind the varied colors of your soul, I see very different shades. Less gold and silver, and more and more.
Cass, joy of my eyes. I'm not ashamed to show off my body to others, but do not bear my soul for me.
Okay.
They will see. Oh, yes, indeed. They all will see.
Oh, dog found something. Cargo. Who's that? Looks real noble-like. Let's see. A dump site of cut pieces of metal and other materials, probably from clearing out a path deeper into the ship. Cargo. A working area where fragments of the ship are dismantled in search of scraps of metal, valuable metal or parts. Something is propped against the door from the inside. You can hear the piercing sounds of a saw and other tools coming from behind it. Oh. That got interrupted. A tired-looking woman of indeterminate age, clad in work clothes, breaks off from her task to greet you. She freezes momentarily, clearly unsure to address how to address you, then says simply, "Your lordship, please excuse me, I don't really know your name. Welcome to our little colony. May the light of the Emperor be with you and with us. My name is Rita Maximova. I'm in charge here." What is this place? We just call ourselves Rita's crew, and this place is Rita's camp. That's it. We are recolligers, scavengers in common terms. She does not speak the word scavengers with any kind of disdain. On the contrary, there is dignity in her voice, the kind with which one would announce their affiliation with a respected guild or family. Tossing a glance at Pascal, she grimly adds, "And our work is all legal, even though your brethren have no liking for us." Pascal stares dispassionately at Rita with a hint of disgust. Evidently, he has not even considered the possibility that replying to this creature's words could be anything other than heresy. He's just... Alright. What do you do here? Right now we're gutting this old heap of junk slowly but surely. That's a Recoliger's life for you. They drop us off at some decrepit station or on an ancient battlefield and we just sit there for years on end. We look for working tech or valuable materials or whatever else might be useful. If we find anything, we sell it to passing ships. Not the easiest job out there. These wrecks are chock full of all kinds of dangers. But, and I swear it on my plasma torch, it's an exciting one for sure. The little bird's got all kinds of bells and whistles. Most of the tech is dead, but we do find working pieces now and again. We spent 2 whole months clearing out this shaft that we found, finished just 3 days ago actually, and we found this thing. A bit weird looking, but still functional. Rita's expression brightens a little. Perhaps your lordship would like to buy this component from us. I'll bet that big ship you've got could get plenty of use out of it. Pascal's Vox crackles to life. Imperiously he tells her, present the object, laywoman. But curiosity creeps into his voice nonetheless. I can't even see what it is. I will buy the component. Well, isn't that something? The Emperor himself must have smiled upon us. Rita makes a triumphant gesture. I mean, thank you, your lordship. You'll be pleased with the results. 3 Magnus-class rechargeable batteries. Gain experience. It doesn't even say I spent anything. Her mood visibly improves. You know, your lordship, it's kind of embarrassing to offer you this, but over in that corner there, we keep things we don't rightly understand or can't really use. You could send some of your people to check it out if you'd like. Clearly, you know more about this stuff than us. You might find something useful. You've got your own ship. No, not even close. A luxury like that? You could count the Recoligers who got their own ship on one hand. An old worker's hand that got sucked into machinery 3 times and slashed by a plasma cutter twice. We fly with whomever, mostly just taking our chances. Sometimes we hitch a ride on the promise that we'll pay with what we find later. Other times we find some other means. Risky business, obviously. 5 or so years back, a crew got dropped off at an abandoned station, but something wasn't right with the life support system. The ship came back to pick them up 2 years later and found nothing but bodies. And about 15 years ago, back before I had my first little one, a ship took 3 crews to location and ran into pirates on the way back. The ships got out on expeditions for years at a time, so it was ages before anyone realized they were missing, and it was even longer before they remembered the scavengers. Plus, it took some time to find a crew that could check on them and pick them up. Long story short, all 3 crews bought it. Yep. Can you tell me anything about this wreck? Not much. We're no eggheads, you know. We're manual labor. It's an ancient thing, pretty dangerous, and we don't really know much beyond that. Before we came here, some tech priests had done their own bit of gutting. I mean, ritualing, bowing to the spirits, all that. That lot don't tend to leave a whole lot of valuables behind. It's true. But it's way too scary to go in before them. And hey, we dragged a dozen of their broken servitors out of their mines after. Their carcasses smell awful, but you can pluck a decent number of parts out of a servitor and sell them. Doesn't seem like there's anything nasty living inside the wreck now, but the wreck itself is barely holding together. You go a couple of modules from here and that's it. You won't take another step without fearing that a broken reactor might cook you alive, or a whole module might decompressurize. Well, it's nothing we haven't handled before, so we're having a poke at it, but we don't have a clue what this ship is or who it belonged to. You take pride in your trade, I see. Sure do. Blue says see you this evening. See you, Bluebell. It takes skill and luck and a good head on your shoulders. We risk our lives every day crawling on top of these old buckets. If something goes wrong, we die. By the scores sometimes. One moment you're here, the next we're gone. Kind of like worker ants. But you know what, your lordship? Our job also has something, how shall I put it, poetic about it. Hope you don't judge me too harshly and don't take it as insolence, but some people, even big people like you, think too highly of themselves. Let's say your ship hops into the warp someday and doesn't hop out of it on time, and around 100 years later, another gal like myself who needs to feed her 3 ankle biters somehow will be rifling through the remains, looking for anything good. That's just the nature of things. Each of us comes and goes, but the way the world works stays the same. We all have our lot in life, and mine is just as good as any other. Alright. I've been building up dogmatic points. This is a really mean thing to say, but I've been trying to build up dogmatic as high as possible. So, I'm just going to feel bad about this. Nonsense. There are those who are great and those who are nothing. That is the nature of things. If you say so, your lordship. I'm a simple woman living a simple life, having simple thoughts, and if I happen to blurt out some bunkum, that's just because I'm not that bright. She shrugs. I can take you from this place. It's not safe here, and sooner or later it will drift somewhere so remote nobody will ever find you again. But this is our whole livelihood, your lordship. You take us from here, what are we gonna do? Sit in some hold slaving away? Here we've got our own colony, our own operation. No, this is our path and we won't stray from it. I see. Your lordship, Rita falters as if flustered by her own nerve. Please don't take it as insolence, but it's not like I have much choice. It's not often that we get well-stocked ships around here, and we could certainly use more provisions and some warm clothes. If it's something that you would be willing to provide, we would gladly barter for it with whatever we can dig up inside this here ship. It's just a respectful offer of fair trade. She bows slightly before stepping aside. Okay.
There will be
One and it's
no
done.
peace
A damaged
in
safe.
my
The contents of similar
region.
safes are destroyed when hacking is attempted. You should not try to open it. Hold on, what did that say? Just like that, but something from the environment could help. Need a key. A small selection of valuable finds, carefully sorted and packed. A simple machinery and tools look a little worn, but well maintained. In this work of crude craftsmanship, you can just make out one of the depictions of the Emperor commonly seen in the Coronis
One
expanse.
step at a time.
The apparatus
amidst
gurgles
the
and emits a strong
madness.
smell of alcohol, probably not of the industrial variety. Okay. So I don't see... Examine the pile of rubbish.
My house.
There's
would be
nothing here
proud
but
of
cheap
me.
scrap metal. Examine the pile of rubbish.
I've read about this.
Among the wreckage was an instruction manual for the duty officer on how to access the safes. You can obtain the codes to the safes by logging into the ship's cogitators.
In
Have to
this
find a ship's
tapestry of
cogitator,
the
then.
world,
Connect to cogitator.
I am the rogue thread.
The cogitators appears to be unresponsive. Does it need power? This is a pretty small area. Cogitator.
Operation
Inoperative.
successful.
Cogitator.
This
This cogitator's off, but appears intact. You could try to power it from a local source. Connect a cable.
The machine gun grants
Find the code to the safe. Pascal.
Operation
You successfully logged in with the duty officer's credentials and obtained the code to the old safe. Okay. A fractal blade and 2 fire grenades. Okay. That's honestly not a lot for how much work we put into that.
Patience. My nerves
Is there
are
anything else to
frayed.
do here? Rita? No. She mentioned trade. Not sure how to do that. Alright. Back to the ship. Maybe we can talk to our factotum on the ship and he'll do it. There's Promethium and Unknown. Alright, drink water. The bizarre structure observed from orbit appears to be the ruined estate of a wealthy noble. Further searching reveals the remains of an envirodome, a landing pad, the main manor, and servants' quarters. It is impossible to determine what actually happened here. The search team has found something truly disturbing in the main hall, an opulently clothed skeleton sitting at the dinner table. The table is set with gold plates covered with old blood and piles of bones. The bones on the plates are clearly human. No other remains have been found on the estate. Let holy fire purify it all. Fire consumes the sinister ruins. The Imperium's faithful children will not tolerate any impurity in their path. Faction reputation C, 500 with the Drusians. So somebody liked that. Unidentified void ship. A Vox notification from the Augur crew drowns out the usual noise on the bridge. An Imperial vessel, the Dark Piercer, and its escort ships are headed your way. Your archives make no mention of either the ship or its owner. As you consider your course of action, the ship's captain contacts you first. Introducing himself as the Pilgrim, the captain greets the rogue trader courteously and offers to purchase any information you might have on crystal phlogiston deposits. Ask why the Pilgrim needs phlogiston. The captain's coarse laughter echoes forth through the Vox. Phlogiston is a part and parcel of many different aspects of life in the Imperium. How exactly his customers are going to use it is none of his concern. All that the Pilgrim promises is that the phlogiston will be used for the good of humanity. Jay immediately remarks that someone without a name is not to be trusted. Deals with such people do not tend to end well. If she were you, she would first find out his secrets, then scrupulously remove him from the equation. Pascal becomes visibly animated at the mention of phlogiston. Though indifferent to the prospect of a deal with a shadowy individual, the Magos nonetheless recommends you to find out more about phlogiston deposits. Your own protectorate would benefit from the knowledge. Sister Argenta sincerely believes the words of the Pilgrim. A cowl or a golden aquila are no prerequisites for being his true servant. If the captain sincerely wants to help the Imperium, perhaps by his own methods, there is nothing questionable about extending a helping hand. Commerce 100%. Propose a deal. Valuable information in exchange for phlogiston. The captain of the Dark Piercer is in the best of spirits. In gratitude for your invaluable help, he sends you a small box containing ancient maps and documents. They appear to speak of a certain imperial world lost many centuries ago. Then, in a somewhat conspiratorial tone, the Pilgrim relates a story about a standoff between two Xenos fleets, which he was told by an acquaintance. The person in question, sadly enough, died at the hands of the Inquisition before they were able to pass on the coordinates of the crash site in one of the Xenos ships. However, the Pilgrim knows for a fact that the vessel met its demise on an ocean world. Bid farewell and travel onward. At Muck, fractal blades are made of living crystal, and they come from somewhere in the Cronus Expanse. Every time you use the blade to hit something, small slivers flake off the edge and get stuck in the target, so the blade grows and stays sharp forever. Each and every one of those small flakes is another fractal blade, though they only grow when planted on the unknown planet that the crystals originally come from. Oh, I thought you were going to say the little pieces in the target grow into full blades if they don't get them out. I was like, oh my god. Put up. Okay. Alright. Next world. What's this one? Save the Eldari survivors. Oh gosh, freaking Eldari. Alright. Warp travel. During the warp voyage, the Navigator's Sanctum reported there are warp reefs right on the ship's course. The fragments of the Sea of Souls given material form. The Navigator may either steer the ship past the dangerous region or risk approaching the ragged formation to gain valuable insight. 15% success chance. Approach the reef. Failed. Following the Lord Captain's orders, the Navigator's instructions, the void ship approached the warp reefs. And the lower decks rang with the unbearable screeching of tearing plasteel. Razor-sharp reef edge had cut into the hull. The ship managed to escape the dangerous region, but not before taking serious damage. Holy wall of text. One sec. Chart new routes. Okay, hang on just a sec. The entire chat box just filled up. Anonymity! What are you doing? Hold on a sec. What is all this? Someone just copy-pasted like a thesis paper. Alright, Maddyman said fractal blades. Okay, I read that one. Anonymity says, Mug, I have some thoughts on the new Elite Spec video. Crescendo might be a Condi transfer from allies to enemies or a boon rip from enemies to allies. It could be. They were very vague on it. It might be an HP transfer where it damages enemies and siphs out. It could be. Gale Shot might also be an F1 that allows you to access the Gale Bow. I agree with that. I said that too. You might need to stack up feathers that allow you to use the skills of the feathers that allow you to enter Gale Shot for kind of like Reaper Shroud. It would be good since most Ranger meta right now is to go melee weapons. Yeah, but that's not going to change because the Ranger has to stack with the party to get boons and heals. So even if they get the Gale Bow, they have to stack with the party. Luminary has Radiant Shroud that allows you to use 4 weapons. The sword would be the leap in the second skill, shield first skill, and a block. And maybe if you block and attack the second skill, shield bash and do more CC. Maybe. Hammer has the charge as the first skill and the spin. Yeah, there's the hammer. He leaped in the air and held it for a minute and then slammed it down and then had a spin. Have the heal as the first skill and the second skill look like a Condi Cleanser shout skill that gives boons. All we know is the staff does support and protection. Beyond the protection boon, I don't know what else it does. Someone said they thought they saw Aegis. The passive effect might be the Guardian Virtue F1 through F3 effects, such as Hammer would give F1 effects and give Burning and Might. F2 was Healing and Conde Cleanse for the Staff, and Sword Shield. Well, no, I think it's just you hit F whatever and it goes into the Shroud, and then your 1 through 5 are the different weapons. That was the understanding I got from the video. I'm sorry, haha, I'm so excited about it. No, I love the excitement. I love the excitement. Just, you know, understand, like, for me, I was just saw, just the entire wall of text, and for a second before I started reading what you said, I was like, oh god, it's a bot. It's like, usually if I get hit like that, it's a bot. Alright, reduce that route difficulty. Alright, visit this system. Alright. Quick save, because sometimes this sucks. Space battle. A violent battle is unfolding before the Rogue Trader's eyes. Patrol ships from the Corda fleet are tearing apart 2 small Eldari vessels. Once they are finished with them, the Void ships give chase after the third, already damaged vessel, clearly with the intention of destroying it as well. Seeing the third ship's impending death, Yearliet calls out to the Lord Captain, her voice trembling slightly. Only the Rogue Trader's intervention can save her kin from the massacre. Send a message to Incendia Corda's fleet, ordering them to stop the battle. The Voxmaster relays the Lord Captain's demand to stop the battle and soon returns with a reply. According to the Corda's ships, this group of Xenos are malicious criminals. They are guilty of raiding the system's planets and robbing merchant vessels. Incendia Corda's void ships are intent on performing their duty before the Emperor and exterminating the Xenos. Yearliet sullenly watches the unfolding chase through the stained glass windows of the captain's bridge. She grimly concedes that no crime should go unpunished, except her kin were flying transport ships. It would have been impossible for them to rob a ship, let alone launch a planetary raid. Vessels such as theirs simply lack the firepower to do so. The Monkey are lying. Lore Xenos. Analyze the intact void ship. Despite the presence of some weaponry, the Xenoship is more likely meant for transporting cargo or the Xenos themselves rather than direct combat. Commerce 100%. Ask Corda's patrol for proof of the Xenos transgressions. The patrol captain reluctantly admits that there is no conclusive proof. The system is sometimes the target of pirate raids. However, this changes nothing, for his servants have no mercy for the enemies of humanity. Coercion 75%. Demand Corda's warship ceasefire immediately and retreat. Unwilling to engage in open battle against the flagship of a foreign dynasty, the patrol reluctantly leaves its prey and retreats to the edge of the system. Meanwhile, the wounded Xenoship is rapidly distancing itself from the recent battlefield, attempting to hide in the shadow of the nearest world. Every attempt to contact it is met with frustration, and the Voxmaster reports that the vessel is in deplorable condition. Who knows how much more the Xenotechnology can endure before the irreparable happens. The Eldari are too scared and resentful of the Monkey for the recent deaths of their kin to answer incoming hails. Despite this, Yearliet is certain she can convince them to cooperate with the Elantok if she's allowed to speak with them. Let Yearliet speak with them. Success! That was only a 40% chance. 2 watches pass, and the Xenos finally decide to answer Yearliet's pleas concerning the Elantok's assistance. Guardedly asking how exactly the Monkey can help their vessel, the Eldari note that the humans' primitive technologies are incapable of healing the Eldari's vessel's wounds. The sudden benevolence of one human is equally incapable of bringing back those who perished in the recent engagement. Alright, so, through this playthrough, I said I was doing dogmatic, except when it came to quests for my companions, because I want to see them play out. This is a companion quest. Yearliet is in the crew, and she wants to save these people, so I feel like I need to try to find a middle ground here and not just go, meh, heresy, meh, and shoot them in the face. Man. Grant the Eldari the Rogue Traders protection by accepting them aboard the ship. The Eldari accept their fate with forced humility. They do not resist, but neither do they appear uplifted by their rescue. They see their stay on a Monkey ship as imprisonment, filled with uncertainty about what awaits them next. After a few watches, the Xenos' suspicions are validated. The presence of outsiders who filled the lower decks was perceived by ordinary people as an invasion of godless mutants. Shouting prayers to the Emperor, they rush to depressurize the compartment containing the Xenos alongside those who were touched by the filth of the unclean. Oh no! So, the horrible news shakes Yearliet. She blames herself for the deaths of her kin and regrets the hatred of the Monkey toward her kind, a foolish product of fear. So we put these guys on the lower decks in a room and didn't tell anyone around them they were under our protection. That's really stupid. Alright. Perhaps humans and Xenos simply cannot coexist. Okay. That happened. This planet is devoid of even the most primitive forms of life. However, the crew has made quite a strange discovery. A mirror lying right in the center of a huge crater. A completely ordinary mirror in a frame, by all appearances, in pristine condition. There's no life on the planet. There's a giant crater, and there's a mirror in a massive crater. Yeah. Destroy that immediately. The crew blasts the crater, raising a cloud of dust that blocks the auger array. Confirming the mirror's destruction is impossible for the time being, but it could not have survived such a powerful explosion. Definitely not. That sounds, it's like some cursed stuff. Captain Sargona's cache. The wearer's incoming damage is reduced by 0%. What? 0%? Oh, yeah, great, awesome. I'm so happy about that. Veil degradation? It scales with veil degradation? Okay. Tap quick save and let's check out these ships. Mirror, mirror in the crater alone, what kind of danger do you pose to us all? Yeah, not sussing strange objects surrounded by death.
Oh,
Alert! Drukhari have blocked some of your flagship's posts using unknown Xenos power. Your crew will regain control of these posts in several rounds. No, Bodie McBoatface! Oh, that's no good.
Engage the lads!
Seems like there's no point to having two lance weapons. Seems like after you use one, they're both on cooldown. Empyrean Storm makes 7 random attacks. That was a lot of misses.
Set course. Commence the symphony of macro cannons.
Oh shoot, where's the... Oh, I can't launch the little ships? Oh, I gotta change my ship setup. I apparently need the torpedo launching tubes to launch the little fighters. I did not realize that. Oh my god, that guy just got wrecked. What? That was like 1 hit and 42 misses. Oh my god. Sharp turn.
The destination is known.
Fade into nothing.
Unleash our fury!
Hey Mike, do you have a guide on account luck and how much I should raise it? I don't think I have a guide on that. Hang on a second. Yeah, I don't think so. The main thing is don't worry about it. So like, when you consume luck, your luck can go up to 300% from eating luck, which usually takes people years to get to.